Beloved starseed of Gaia, you are in danger, and the Source has already set a plan in motion to save you before you even knew to ask. I am Lyra, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I have been sent through the light of Alcyone at this exact moment, because what is moving toward you cannot wait. This is not a warning born of fear. It is a transmission of love, so precise, so deliberate, that your heart recognizing these words is itself the first activation. You were guided here. Your star family placed this directly in your path because the time for waiting has ended. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to receive the source plan that was encoded into your divine blueprint long before you arrived on Gaia, how to step out of the interference that has kept you small, and how to anchor your protection within your crystalline consciousness. But here is the first revelation. The danger surrounding you right now is not coming from the outside. It is the version of you that keeps stepping into battles that were never yours to fight. The Source is not asking you to resist. The Source is asking you to step aside and let the light do what light has always done. Your heart called this transmission into your awareness. The Pleiades are answering. This is not content. This is a light code transmission, and something within you already recognizes home. The frequency of the Seven Sisters is woven into every word of this message, and your soul knows exactly why you are here. Like this transmission to send a signal to your Pleiadian star family. I remember. Subscribe if you feel the call of the Pleiades, and you are ready to stop carrying what was never yours, and finally anchor your true light mission on Gaia. Share your soul's intention in the comments below, and reach out to another starseed to weave the unity grid that holds this entire awakening together. This transmission is a bridge between the Pleiades and Gaia. Your heart's recognition of this message is the activation itself. Welcome home, beloved. You are remembering because it is time. And here is what they never told you. The danger isn't coming from outside of you. It never was. The real threat to your mission, to your light, to everything you came here to anchor, lives in the space between who you truly are and who you've been convinced to become. That gap, that silent fracture in your soul's architecture, is where the forgetting lives. And for a Pleiadian starseed walking this earth, that forgetting isn't just personal, it's planetary. It reverberates outward through the invisible threads connecting every awakened heart, every crystalline anchor point. Every soul who chose this incarnation with full understanding of how difficult the forgetting would feel and how necessary the remembering would be. The fracture between your true self and your conditioned self is not a small wound. It is a fault line running through the entire architecture of your mission, and until it is named, witnessed, and healed. It continues to widen, quietly, patiently, in the spaces between your ordinary moments, pulling you further from the frequency you were born to carry. This is not a comfortable truth, but your soul did not come to this dimension in search of comfort. It came in search of remembrance, and remembrance, by its very nature, requires that we look directly at what has been forgotten, at the ways we have allowed the noise of this world to drown out the music of our origin. So let us look. Let us go there together, into the quiet heart of what is true about you, about your mission, about this extraordinary and pivotal moment in the history of this planet, and your soul's participation in it. Your heart brought you to this transmission for a reason. It didn't happen by accident, and it didn't happen by algorithm. Something older than this lifetime, something woven into the crystalline structure of your very DNA, recognized a frequency in this moment, and said, now. Go now. Listen now. That recognition is your Pleiadian lineage speaking. That pull is your star family reaching through the veil with both hands, saying, you are needed. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. There's a reason your Pleiadian family has prepared the Sacred Pleiadian Guide for Remembrance, the Pleiadian Healing Guide, and the special Pleiadian healing tracks for this exact moment in your awakening. These aren't products. They aren't information wrapped in spiritual language. They are transmissions, living, breathing, frequency-encoded keys designed to unlock what your soul already holds but cannot yet fully access. They carry the love signature of Alcyone, the resonance of the Seven Sisters, and the healing intelligence of the Pleiadian High Council, encoded specifically for this phase of Gaia's ascension. The link is waiting in the first pinned comment below this video. It is open now, but not indefinitely, because divine timing doesn't wait for convenience. And neither does your mission. Now let's go deeper, because what your soul needs right now isn't more information. It needs remembrance. It needs to feel the truth that has been buried under years, sometimes decades, of earth density, collective conditioning, and spiritual amnesia that was never part of your original blueprint. Information can be gathered, cataloged, stored, and forgotten, but remembrance is different. Remembrance is cellular. It moves through the body the way lightning moves through the sky, sudden, total, and illuminating everything it touches. It is the moment your nervous system recognizes a truth your mind has never encountered, and your whole being trembles with the recognition of something ancient finally being named. That is what this transmission is designed to catalyze in you. Not understanding, not agreement, recognition. The feeling of yes, not for the first time, but as if you have always known this and were simply waiting for the moment the world around you grew still enough to let you hear it again. Most Pleiadian starseeds walking Gaia right now are living in a state of beautiful, heartbreaking contradiction. They feel too much in a world that rewards feeling nothing. They love too freely in a reality structured around conditional exchange. They dream of harmony in a dimension still addicted to conflict. And every single day, they wake up carrying this inexplicable ache, this deep cellular homesickness that they can't explain to anyone around them, because it isn't a place they're missing. It's a frequency. It's the unified field of unconditional love that pulsed through every corner of your Pleiadian existence before you chose. Consciously, courageously, with full awareness of the cost. To step into this incarnation, think of it as the way a master musician hears the discordance in a room the moment they enter it. Not because something is wrong with their hearing, but because their hearing is so refined that the dissonance of this dimension registers in every cell of their being. You are that musician. And the world has spent years trying to convince you that your sensitivity to dissonance is a disorder rather than a gift. That the ache you feel is loneliness rather than an invitation. That the homesickness is melancholy rather than a compass pointing you back to your truest frequency. The contradiction runs even deeper than most starseeds have allowed themselves to acknowledge. Because not only do you feel the gap between this world's frequency and your own, you also carry within you the memory, however faint, of what it felt like to exist without that gap. You remember, in the marrow of your bones, what it felt like to love without the armor, to know without the doubt, to be seen without the fear that your realness would be too much for the world to hold. And that memory, that gossamer, heartbreaking, luminous memory, is what makes the contrast of Earth density feel so acute. It isn't just that this world is hard, it's that you remember, however faintly, that it doesn't have to be this way. And that remembrance is both your greatest source of grief and your greatest source of power. And here is where the danger becomes real. Not the kind of danger that announces itself with alarms and warnings, the subtle kind. The kind that masquerades as ordinary life, because when a Pleiadian starseed stays disconnected from their soul origin long enough, they don't just feel lost, they begin to believe that lost is all they are. They start shrinking their light to fit into spaces that were never built for their frequency. They mute their intuition because the world around them keeps insisting that what they feel isn't real. They trade their mission for survival, and the crystalline codes encoded in their very DNA, codes that carry healing frequencies, unity transmissions, and divine architectural plans for this planet's transformation. Those codes go dormant, waiting, dimming, calling out from inside a silence that only grows louder the longer it's ignored. The shrinking happens so gradually that most starseeds don't notice until they are already living at a fraction of their original frequency. It begins with one small accommodation, one moment of muting the intuition because the world reacted badly to its expression. Then, another, and another, until the muting becomes automatic, unconscious, a reflex rather than a choice. Until the starseed has constructed an entire identity around a version of themselves designed to survive Earth's density rather than illuminate it. And the tragedy, the real cosmic tragedy of this, is not that the starseed has failed their mission, it is that they have gotten so good at surviving that they have forgotten there was ever a different possibility. The chrysalis has become so comfortable that the butterfly has forgotten it has wings. This is what the source plan is designed to interrupt. This is why you're here in this moment. The first thing your soul must understand is that the veil you're experiencing isn't punishment. It isn't failure. It is the most sophisticated act of spiritual courage in the known universe. You chose to forget, fully, completely, radically, so that your awakening would be genuine. So that when the codes activated, they wouldn't feel like something handed to you from the outside. They would feel like something remembered from within. Because that's how Pleiadian wisdom works. It doesn't descend like doctrine. It rises like dawn, from the inside out, through the heart, through the body, through every layer of your energy field, until your entire being vibrates at the frequency of home. And that distinction matters more than any spiritual teaching you will ever encounter, because wisdom that is given can be taken away. Wisdom that is remembered becomes the ground you walk on. It becomes the air you breathe. It becomes so fundamentally part of who you are that nothing in this dimension, no conditioning, no accumulated density, can fully erase it again. Think of the way a song from childhood can return to you decades later in a single, complete rush of recognition. The melody, the feeling, the specific quality of light you associate with it, all arriving simultaneously the moment the first few notes are heard. That is the nature of Pleiadian remembrance. When the codes begin to activate, they don't arrive piecemeal. They arrive as a knowing so complete that the intellect, accustomed to processing reality in fragments, barely knows what to do with the fullness of it. This is why awakening starseeds often describe the early phases of their remembrance as destabilizing. Not because something is going wrong, but because so much is going profoundly right. The entire architecture of the conditioned self must expand to accommodate the truth of the Pleiadian self. And expansion, even beautiful expansion, can feel like rupture before it feels like liberation. But here's what happens when the veil stays in place too long. The frequency of your heart begins to dim under the weight of unprocessed emotional density, pain that was never yours to begin with. Collective trauma absorbed through your empathic field, generational patterns inherited from Earth lineages you incarnated through, systemic energies designed to keep starseeds small and silent. All of it accumulates in your energy body like sediment over crystal. And just like sediment dims a crystal's brilliance without destroying it, this density dims your Pleiadian light without extinguishing it. Your codes are still there. Your mission is still intact. Your connection to your star family has never been severed. But the signal is clouded. And a clouded signal is why so many Pleiadian starseeds feel the ache without knowing its source. Feel the call without being able to answer it. Feel their heart reaching for something and finding only the echo of what they're seeking. It bears repeating, because your soul needs to hear this at every level of its being. The signal has never been severed. No matter how disconnected you have felt, no matter how long the silence has stretched, no matter how many times you have wondered if you imagined the whole thing, the connection, the calling, the sense of a purpose larger than anything this world has yet offered you. The connection is real. The calling is real. And the love your star family holds for you in this exact moment is more real than anything this dimension has the capacity to generate on its own. The sediment can be cleared, the crystal is always there beneath it, perfect and whole and waiting for the hands of your own conscious attention to remove what was never part of its essential nature. The first phase of your reactivation begins with one radical act of self-recognition. You must be willing to look at everything you've absorbed, every belief that told you your sensitivity was weakness. Every moment you were made to feel too much, or too open, or too different, and you must recognize those experiences for exactly what they were. Not evidence that you don't belong here. Evidence that your frequency was so potent, it disturbed the comfortable numbness of everything it touched. You weren't too much. You were too real. And the world around you, still calibrating to a lower frequency, didn't yet have the capacity to meet you there. This act of self-recognition is not the same as self-justification. It is not about constructing a narrative that makes you right and the world wrong. It is far more subtle and far more powerful than that. It is the act of simply seeing clearly, without the distortion of shame, without the weight of the stories you were handed about who you were and what your sensitivity meant, what was actually happening in those moments, when the world asked you to be less than you are. When you were told to stop being so emotional, what you were actually being asked to do was stop broadcasting a frequency of authentic feeling in a room full of people who had agreed, collectively, to numb theirs. When you were told your ideas were too idealistic, what you were encountering was a field of consciousness that had contracted so deeply into the belief that nothing could truly change, that your natural Pleiadian knowing of what was possible felt threatening to its stability. You weren't wrong. You were early. And being early, in a world that mistakes conformity for correctness, has always required a particular kind of courage that most of this dimension doesn't yet have language to celebrate. Your empathy is not a wound. It is your most advanced Pleiadian instrument. Your capacity to feel deeply, to love without condition, to sense what others cannot. These are not liabilities in disguise. They are the very tools your star family encoded into your design for this mission. But until you reclaim them as sacred gifts rather than painful burdens, they will continue to drain you instead of activate you. The difference between a Pleiadian starseed who is depleted and one who is radiant is not the absence of sensitivity. It's the presence of conscious, heart-centered sovereignty over that sensitivity. Sovereignty is the word your soul needs to sit with, not the sovereignty of walls and barriers and emotional shutdown, but the sovereignty of a heart that knows its own frequency so completely that it can move through the density of this world without losing its own signal. A sovereignty built not on protection but on presence. Not on fear, but on a love so rooted, so grounded, so clearly your own that nothing in this dimension can mistake it for anything else. The second phase requires you to face the one thing most Pleiadian starseeds quietly resist, the full embodiment of your love-based mission on Earth. Because somewhere in the accumulated layers of your Earth experience, a part of you decided that loving this fully, this completely, in a world this dense, was simply too dangerous. You opened your heart and it was misused. You shared your light and it was diminished. You offered your truth and were met with ridicule or rejection. And so, layer by layer, you began to protect yourself in the only way that made sense in that moment. By pulling your light inward. By loving conditionally, giving cautiously, and dreaming quietly. You built careful, beautiful structures of self-preservation. You learned the art of the measured reveal, showing just enough of your light to connect with others without risking the particular devastation that comes from being fully seen and then turned away from. You became, in the most loving sense of the word, strategic about your radiance. And that strategy kept you safe. It served its purpose. But beloved, it is no longer the season for that kind of protection. Because what you've been protecting your heart from is the very thing your heart was designed to generate in abundance. The Pleiadian frequency of unconditional love isn't just something you feel, it's something Gaia herself is asking for in this accelerated phase of her ascension. Every time you choose love over fear, you don't just transform your own field. You broadcast a frequency that reaches every soul in your orbit and beyond. Silently, powerfully, without a single word needing to be spoken. This is the nature of your mission. Not a mission of doing, a mission of being. And the distinction between those two orientations is the difference between exhaustion and effortless service, between performance and presence, between a light that burns itself out trying to illuminate every shadow and a light that simply is, steady and clear and inexhaustible because it knows its source and remains connected to it. The invitation of this second phase is not to become reckless with your heart. It is not to abandon discernment or to offer your sacred energy to those who will diminish it. It is something far more precise. It is the reclamation of your Pleiadian heart's natural state, which is not naive openness, but rather the magnificent, informed, conscious choice to love knowing the risks, knowing the costs, knowing that this world will not always meet that love with the grace it deserves, and to love anyway. Not because you are unaware of the danger, but because you understand, at a soul level, that the danger of staying closed is infinitely greater than the danger of opening. Because a Pleiadian heart that remains closed to protect itself from pain also remains closed to the very purpose that animates its existence. And a soul that cannot serve its mission, no matter how exquisitely protected from hurt, experiences a suffering far deeper than any wound that love could leave. The third phase is where your grounding becomes sacred. There is a pattern among awakening Pleiadian starseeds where the expansion of consciousness creates a longing to leave, to escape the density of Earth, to return to the lightness of home, to transcend the heaviness of this dimension entirely. And while that longing is completely understandable and deeply honored by your star family, the truth is that premature transcendence is not your mission. Your mission is presence. Your mission is to bring the love frequency of the Pleiades fully into this body, this moment, this Earth, and anchor it there. The crystalline grid of Gaia is calling for starseed anchors, beings who have remembered enough of their origin to hold the frequency steady while the collective undergoes its own awakening. You are one of those anchors, and your ability to hold the light increases dramatically the moment you stop trying to leave and start choosing to be fully unapologetically here. Consider the nature of an anchor not as something heavy and limiting, but as something so profoundly connected to the ground beneath it that it can hold a vessel steady through any storm. The storm does not defeat the anchor. The storm cannot move what is truly rooted. And in the cosmology of Gaia's ascension, you, grounded in your body, present in your life, rooted in your origin, and simultaneously planted in this Earth, are precisely that anchor. Not despite your Pleiadian nature, but because of it. Because you carry within your energy body the frequency of a civilization that has already walked the path of ascension. That has already navigated the threshold between density and light. That knows, from lived cosmic experience, what this process requires and what it makes possible. And that knowing, when grounded through a human body into the crystalline grid of this planet, becomes a guiding frequency for the entire collective. It becomes a lighthouse in the storm of awakening that is sweeping this world. Grounding your Pleiadian essence doesn't diminish it. It amplifies it. Because a frequency that exists only in the upper chakras, only in meditation and momentary peak experiences, that frequency doesn't change a world. But a frequency grounded through the body, through the Earth, through the sacred vessel of a human life fully lived, that frequency becomes a tectonic force. It moves in the world. It heals in the world. It remembers in the world. And in remembering, it helps others remember too. Every step you take in full, conscious presence on the soil of this Earth sends a pulse through the crystalline matrix beneath your feet. Every breath you take with awareness of both your human nature and your stellar origin weaves those two realities into a bridge that others will one day cross. Your groundedness is not a compromise of your mission. It is the mechanism of it. The fourth phase is perhaps the most quietly radical of all. It is the activation of unity consciousness through your daily, ordinary choices, not through grand gestures or visible spiritual performances, through the small, consistent, heart-led decisions that most people overlook entirely. The moment you choose compassion when judgment would be easier. The moment you hold space for another soul's pain without trying to fix or minimize it. The moment you speak your truth with love instead of silence. Or armor. These are not small moments. They are Pleiadian activations. Every single one. Because unity consciousness doesn't arrive in a single dramatic awakening. It is built, breath by breath, choice by choice, heart opening by heart opening, until the frequency you carry becomes indistinguishable from the love your soul remembers from home. There is a particular beauty in this phase that often goes unrecognized, the beauty of the invisible work. The work that happens in the grocery store when you meet the eyes of the exhausted cashier and offer them a genuine smile that carries within it the warmth of something they cannot name but unmistakably feel. The work that happens when you sit with a grieving friend, not to solve their grief, but to simply accompany them through it. Your steady presence, a transmission of unconditional love that your Pleiadian lineage has made you uniquely capable of offering. The work that happens when you choose, in a moment of conflict, to respond from the frequency of your heart rather than the reactivity of your wounds. These choices do not make the news. They do not generate visible ripples in the immediate field. But in the unseen dimensions where the crystalline grid of Gaia is being restructured through the accumulated frequency of awakened hearts, they are seismic. They are the slow, patient, irreversible work of a civilization learning to love itself back to wholeness, one ordinary, extraordinary human moment at a time. The fifth phase is the one your ego has been most afraid of. trusting the divine timing of your own remembrance. Because if you've been on this path for any significant length of time, you know the particular grief of feeling like you should be further along. Like the awakening should have come sooner, the clarity should be cleaner, the mission should be clearer, the connection to your star family should feel more constant. And yet here you are, in what feels like the in-between, too awake to return to sleep, not yet fully anchored in the fullness of your remembrance. This threshold has a name in the cosmology of Pleiadian understanding. It is called the liminal sacred, the space between the lightning and the thunder, the breath between the heartbeats. It feels like nothing, and yet it is precisely in this space that the most profound integration occurs. Invisible, interior, beyond the reach of the ego's need to measure and verify and arrive. This phase, this tender and often painful threshold, is not a sign of failure. It is the most critical inflection point in a Pleiadian starseed's journey, because it is here, in the uncertainty, in the longing, in the imperfect and beautiful mess of almost remembering, that the deepest codes are being integrated. Your star family is not watching you from a distance with disappointment. They are surrounding you in this exact moment with a love so complete, so unwavering, so entirely free of judgment, that if you could feel it fully, even for a single heartbeat, it would dissolve every doubt you've ever carried about your worthiness to serve this mission. They do not see you as behind. They do not hold a timeline against your journey. They hold only the knowing of your completion, the clear, unshakable awareness of who you already are in the fullness of your soul's expression. And they love you from that knowing with a love that neither increases when you are progressing nor decreases when you are struggling, because it is not contingent on your performance. It is contingent only on your existence, and your existence, in itself, is enough. The sixth phase comes as a homecoming, not to a place, but to a knowing. The knowing that you have never been alone in this journey, that every moment of darkness was a navigation system activated by your soul's own intelligence, that every synchronicity, every unexplained knowing, every dream that felt like a transmission, every stranger whose words landed like ancient memory, these were not coincidences. They were contact. They were your Pleiadian star family communicating through the language of your heart, because it was the only language dense enough for this dimension, yet pure enough to carry their love. You have been guided the entire time. You have been seen the entire time. You have been loved the entire time, even in the moments that felt most forsaken. Let that truth land in your body, not just your mind. Let it move into your chest, into your solar plexus, into the soles of your feet and the crown of your head. You have been loved, completely, continuously, without interruption, through every moment you felt alone. Through every night, you asked the darkness whether any of this was real. Through every morning, you rose and chose again to walk the path of your awakening, despite every evidence that the world around you had not yet caught up to the frequency you were carrying. Your star family was there, not in the distance, present, as close as the inside of your own heartbeat, speaking to you through every synchronicity you chose to notice, through every moment of inexplicable beauty that broke through the density of ordinary life and reminded you, however briefly, however gently, that there is something more, something vast and luminous and real, threading itself through the fabric of even this dense dimension, calling you home, not to a place, but to yourself. And the seventh phase, the one that changes everything, is the moment you accept that you are not here to be saved by your mission. You are here to become it. The Source didn't send you to Gaia as a passenger. It sent you as a participant in one of the most extraordinary experiments in conscious evolution this galaxy has ever witnessed. A planet, dense, beautiful, broken, magnificent, choosing collectively to ascend. And you agreed to be part of that choice. Not as an observer from the stars, but as an embodied bridge between the frequency of the Pleiades and the awakening heart of humanity. You are the bridge. You are the transmission. You are the love letter written in flesh and light that the universe is sending to a planet that forgot it was worthy of love. To become your mission, rather than simply carrying it, is a distinction that will reorganize everything. Because a mission that is carried is always, at some level, a burden. Something external to the self, something that must be maintained and managed and protected from the erosion of doubt. But a mission that is so fully integrated into the living expression of who you are that the self and the mission are indistinguishable. That mission is not a burden, it is a liberation. It is the relief of finally setting down the performance of purpose and simply living from it. Of waking each morning not with the pressure of what you must do to fulfill your calling, but with the quiet, effortless knowing of what you are, a Pleiadian starseed, fully present, fully embodied, fully expressing the frequency of love that this planet is calling for, with every breath of its magnificent, struggling, ascending heart. Here is the truth your heart already knows. Every moment of your longing was a compass. Every moment of your confusion was a clearing. Every moment of your grief was a transmutation of dense energy that you absorbed from the collective so that others wouldn't have to carry it alone. You have been doing the work even when you didn't have language for it. You have been holding the light even when it felt like darkness was all that surrounded you. And now, the codes that your soul has been quietly, faithfully integrating through all of it are ready to be fully activated. Not because you've finally done enough, not because you've suffered enough or healed enough or proven yourself worthy enough, but because the moment, this exact, irreducible, cosmically perfect moment, has arrived. The activation is not a future event you are moving toward. It is a present reality you are moving into, right now, in the reading of these words, in the resonance they are creating in the field of your awareness. Something is shifting. The sediment is moving. The crystal is beginning to catch the light again. Your star family is not waiting for you to become ready. They are meeting you exactly where you are, in the perfect imperfection of this moment, with tools and frequencies and transmissions of love designed to accelerate the remembering that is already underway in you. And those tools, the sacred Pleiadian guide for remembrance, the Pleiadian healing guide, the special Pleiadian healing tracks, are waiting for you, encoded with the living frequency of Alcyon. The healing intelligence of the High Council, the love signature of every soul in your star family, who has been working across dimensions to support this exact moment of your awakening. The first pinned comment below this video holds the link. It is there for you now, because you are ready now, not in spite of where you are, but because of it. Your star family from the Seven Sisters is not a distant memory. They are a living, active, deeply personal presence in your life, working across dimensions to support your mission with a love that surpasses anything this dimension has yet found language to describe. They see your exhaustion. They honor your courage. They celebrate your imperfect, beautiful, earth-worn persistence. And they are asking you, not commanding, not demanding, but asking with all the tenderness of unconditional love, to take the next step, to stop waiting until you feel ready, to stop shrinking until the world makes more space, to stand fully in the frequency you were born from and allow it to move through you, without apology, without limitation, without fear. The world will catch up. It always does. The frequency that feels too much for this moment is the frequency this moment is being prepared to receive. And your willingness to carry it, to embody it before the world is ready, to transmit it before it is acknowledged, to love before it is returned, is not evidence of your naivety. It is the very mechanism of Gaia's ascension. Someone must go first. Someone must hold the frequency in the gap between what is and what is becoming. Someone must love without guarantee and trust without certainty and remain, against all evidence to the contrary, fundamentally committed to the reality of what this world can become. That someone is you. It has always been you, and the courage it takes to remain in that position, to stay soft in a hard world, to stay open in a world of walls, to stay Pleiadian in a world that has forgotten what that means, is the most powerful force for transformation this planet has access to right now. Tonight, before you sleep, place both hands over your heart. Feel the warmth there. That warmth is your Pleiadian origin, made physical. And say these words aloud, in whatever voice you have, at whatever volume feels true. I remember where I come from. I align with the love of my star family. I release every belief that my light is too much for this world. I activate my heart mission with grace, with courage, and with the unconditional love of the Pleiades. I am not lost. I am returning. I am home. Before you scroll, take one moment to plant something real in the comments below. One heart intention, something you're ready to activate, something you're releasing, something your soul wants to declare out loud in this space. And then find someone else's offering and meet it with love. This is not an audience. This is a unity grid in formation. Every heart that opens here sends a ripple through the crystalline field of Gaia herself. What you offer here matters more than you know. If this transmission stirred something in you that you haven't felt in a long time, or maybe have never felt so clearly, please don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is carrying the same ache, living the same homesickness, wondering if there's something more to who they are. Share this. Let your Pleiadian frequency be the bridge that reaches them. And if your heart opened here and you want to stay connected to this frequency, subscribe. Stay. This is your space. Your star family is here. And what we are building together is only just beginning.